If any of you guys are in the UK on the 2nd of November, come along in the morning, Saturday morning, to the Holiday Inn in Bloomsbury for the London Coin Fair, where we will be launching the SilverForum Lounge in collaboration with myself. There will be sample slabs, prize draws, and maybe some coffee and donuts or something if you're lucky as well. Hey guys, hey YouTube, it's Numismatics back with you again for part 2 of this 2-part video of some coins that came back or came to me from auction purchases. Some of the coins are mine, some of the coins belong to a friend. The ones that were mine were in the first part of the video, and then this part is probably the better part. More valuable, lots of gold. So if you didn't catch part 1 yet, please go and watch that first. There's a link up the top, and if you're coming to this with part 2 only, then you're in for a treat, as this particular friend has bought some amazing coins which I'm going to be showing you, and these coins came from auction at Stack's Bowers, one of the big auction companies in the United States. Very long history of selling very high quality British and world coins. So we are going to start with a tiny bit of a recap. This package you did see also in part 1, but it was a little bit of a tease in part 1 because the coins that should go with this very famous box were not actually in part 1 of the video, ran out of time, and they are in part 2 of this video. But to recap, whenever you see one of these very nice old red boxes, you know that a 1937 gold proof set cannot be too far behind. There were 5,500 of these boxed sets, and quite a few of them have come up for auction recently. There are still hundreds of these coin sets, I suspect, in various safes around the world, probably in pretty good condition and undiscovered. So I expect over the next 5-10 years a number of those sets will continue to come onto the market, and they are definitely something to watch out for. It's October, it's the Coin Connection, one of the very few dealers to care about quality and modern coins, and the code for this month is Thomas. Yep, it's Thomas. So while I've been buying interesting copper proofs and numismatic items for my collection, a friend of mine has been also building his own collection, and these coins have arrived for him, and he's got a slightly different view of the market to me, and where he is spending his money at the moment is with more gold than copper, although he does buy 1 or 2 coins of that type. Generally, he likes these chunky gold coins, and who doesn't like a whole load of chunky gold coins? So one of his strategies, which is interesting and you might care to follow at auction, is he looks in the world coins. So he looks for interesting, low volume, semi-numismatic world coins that, you know, take a little bit more to find, but can yield some interesting bargains. Now, some of these coins only sell for a little bit above spot, and therefore they can be good buys because they're plays on gold. Some of the others can be pretty rare, particularly some of the larger coins had very low mintages compared to some of the smaller coins, but then there may not be that many people looking for them either. And he does have a particular soft spot for these types of coins. I know from previous kind of coins that he's picked up. So Archbishop Makarios there on 2 of those coins. And I kind of agree with him on buying these 2 coins. They're really attractive coins. You've got the Anteater there, and they're part of a kind of cross-country series on conservation. And I think As the first Anteater I've seen on a coin, this one probably needs a little bit of conservation, which is kind of funny really, because the topic of this particular gold coin is also about conservation, but it's conservation that needs a little bit of conservation. Probably it's worth taking that out of its holder, getting it conserved and regrading it again, and that's something that may happen at some stage going forward. Then you've got another one, Nepal, and it's the first Nepalese gold coin that I've seen. Really interesting. I said this was a kind of multi-country series. Beautiful designs. I don't know what the mintages of these, but I suspect the mintages are pretty low. And certainly the graded populations of these coins are extremely low, but not a lot of people are looking under Nepal in the auction catalogue. So, you know, it may be there still may not be a great number of buyers for that kind of coin, but it's an interesting play, and I think that those coins are interesting enough so that when he wants to upgrade or sell or get rid of them, there will be plenty of buyers for those really interesting conservation-themed gold coins. The next packet of coins is more the usual kind of stuff that appears on my channel. So coins that I very, very much like. You'll know what 4 of the coins are going to be because you saw the little red box at the beginning of this video. So let's take a look at the pile. The first one we've got is an 1820. So this is a really, really nice type of coin. I had an 1817 one actually that I bought recently that I just traded with somebody who watched the YouTube video yesterday. But this particular coin, and you can see here one that the same person also bought from a different auction. You can see the focus of his attention. They're both exactly the same variation, exactly the same grade. I think the grade is a real sweet spot for the 1820. There aren't very many of these of this kind of high grade, loads of detail, really pleasant to look at. And you can see, interestingly, pretty consistent grading by PCGS as well. You don't often get a chance to compare 2 identical grades side by side at the same time in one of these videos. And actually, they both look correctly graded, and they're both beautiful coins with a really nice golden kind of vibe about them. Lots of detail on the hair and the laurel leaves and stuff like that. Really, really nice. And of course, they've both got this highly desirable garter pattern, and both the 2017 and these 1817, 18, 18, 19 and 20, well, you won't find very many 1819s, have this great pattern on the back, which mixes that lovely garter pattern, historical garter pattern, with St George as well, and the Pastruki kind of middle. Really, really nice. These coins are certainly worth picking up, and I think he's got a very good eye, and I think you're never going to go wrong picking up 1817 to 1820 sovereigns in good condition. Similarly, although there were quite a few of these 1937 gold coins, they are the only British gold coin that has George VI portrait on, and if only for that reason, these are in very, very high demand. And of course, if they have cameo or ultra cameo, the price goes up even more. But what he's done is picked up a set, and then it may be that he's planning to keep the set the way it is. It may be that he's planning to mix and match with other PCGS coins to get a set with a particular type of grade on them. And these coins are variable in terms of their cam contrast. You know, the idea behind cameo and ultra cameo is really about the frosting. Why is it important on these particular coins of this particular age? And really that's because, unlike a modern coin where every proof is cameo or ultra, effectively every proof is ultra cameo, the cameo bit only really was evident on the first few coins from a particular die. They prepared the dies in a way that left the first few frosted, and as each coin was pressed, the amount of cameo reduced until there was effectively no cameo. They'll get a cameo grading if there is Cameo evident, frosting evident on both sides of the coin. If you see a coin that has the George VI portrait frosted, but the reverse is not frosted, that will not get a Cameo. And you can see one like that here, where you've got a tiny bit of frosting, pretty marginal, but it is there on the front. But on the back, there's nothing really of any evidence with enough contrast to get a Cameo. So that one didn't get a Cameo. If it has Cameo, then you've effectively got that contrast on both sides. If it has Ultra Cameo, then you've got a much more distinct frosting on both sides. But it is sometimes different and difficult to spot the difference between the Cameo and the Ultra Cameo on some of these coins. You can look at two side by side, and the differences can be pretty slight. Sometimes that's because the differences are pretty slight. Sometimes it's because the grading companies have messed up and not designated the coin properly. And I have had occasions where I've sent a non-Cameo coin from one grading company in to be cross-graded, and it's come back as a Cameo coin in the other grading company. So there isn't 100% consistency, and that can work in the collector's favour in terms of grading and cross-grading. This one is a Sovereign, which is probably the best denomination in this set in terms of investment potential, although the 5 is very good. It has a 66 plus rating, 66 plus Cameo rating, so you've got Cameo on both of those sides, and it is absolutely delightful. 66 plus is pretty much the top of the tree. There are, I think there may be 168 graded by both grading companies and a few 67s. So this is pretty much as good as you can get. A lot of them do not reach those heights because they were in those boxes that I showed you at the beginning of the video, and that if they were kept too long in those boxes, the gradual kind of rubbing from the boxes and from the material didn't really do them any favours. There are some sets where, when they originally came from the mint, they weren't actually in the boxes. They were in another kind of, I think, paper presentation, seal presentation thing. And then people put them into the boxes by tearing away the paper. There are still, I have been told reliably by some of the dealers, a few of those still to be discovered. So I do expect a few more 66s and 67s, even 68s to be uncovered over a period of time. Hope you liked that video. End of part 2, and I'm sure there'll be something interesting along on the channel pretty soon. Like, subscribe, and comment.